Hey Baker Art friends, it's Mrs. Herbay. Um, if you didn't have a chance to have art this week, I'm going to post a fun little, I'm going to show you guys a fun little way that you can draw a reindeer and also some fun things that you can use to decorate the antlers of the reindeer. So I kind of have an almost finished example here. And so we're going to get started and I'm going to show you how to do your own drawing. So what you want to do is you want to grab a piece of paper. We're going to need a piece of paper, actually maybe two pieces of paper from your printer or just any other drawing paper you have. And you're just going to need a pencil for right now. And that's all you're going to need. So go grab that and then we'll get started. Okay guys, so the first thing that we're going to start drawing is the nose of the reindeer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of my piece of paper. So I'm going to go over a little bit and I'm just going to kind of try to look at what I see as the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pointer finger down and I'm going to put a mark about right here. And that's about as far up as I'm going to start the nose, okay? And to draw the shape of the nose, if you're familiar with the triangle shape, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna draw a triangle shape, but we're going to sort of make it a little bit rounded. So we're almost drawing the letter V, and then we're gonna imagine that we're gonna finish off the triangle, but we're not going to. We're just gonna imagine that there's a line going straight across here. And then we're going to pretend like maybe this is an ice cream cone, and we're going to put a scoop of ice cream on top of that cone. So we kind of have our triangle shape here if I was drawing the triangle, and then the ice cream on top. So it's kind of like this shape, like right like this, kind of rounded like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a very small, short vertical line down, just about that far down. All right. Then what you're going to do is we're going to go a little bit, we're going to start in the middle here, and we're going to go up about as far as like a fingernail, give or take. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little mark here. And what that's going to do is that's going to tell me where I need to start drawing, and then this is where I'm going to stop drawing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of curve out and around, and then we're going to meet back up with this vertical line here. So I'm just going to swing out. It's like I'm making the letter C, and then we're coming back into there. So that's the one side. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to swing out and then around and hook back up with that vertical line. Okay? And I'll give you a minute to do that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a smile underneath what we just drew, sort of like that. Okay? And then we're going to, again, start where we had our last mark, and we're going to go up about halfway up between here and the top of our paper. And this is going to be the top of the reindeer's head, and we're going to leave room because we want to draw antlers eventually. So we're just going to put a little mark here. And then we're going to do that same thing where we're going to sort of swing out and then curve back to connect with this little smile. So I'm just going to go out and connect back with that smile, just like that. If it's not exactly how you want it, sometimes what I like to do is correct my line and then erase. So But again, it doesn't have to be exactly like this shape. It just kind of has to be close to it. So this is now the head of my reindeer, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on this edge here, and we're gonna be curving up and then over. So I'm gonna start on this edge, we're gonna scoot up, and then we're gonna start to head back over like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side where I'm gonna head up and then head back over. Okay? And if you wanted to smooth it out, like I see, oh, that was maybe a little bit of a different shape than the other side, or different line than the other side, I can. And now I have my reindeer's head. Now we're going to add some eyes. So to do the eye, we're going to make a curved line like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another curved line underneath like that. So now we have a football shape. And then inside that football shape, we're going to draw a circle. And then we're going to draw a smaller circle inside that circle. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side where I'm going to go curve. And then underneath that curve, I'm going to make another curve. And then I'm going to draw a circle inside the circle, or inside the football shape. And then I'm going to draw a circle inside that circle. Okay? So now we have the inside part of the head. We have the details. If you wanted to add little eyelashes or other details, you could. Another thing you could do is if you wanted to add fur texture to the snout of the reindeer, you could make these little short lines like this to add your fur texture. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to anchor this head to a neck. So I'm going to start on the side of the reindeer's head. I'm going to draw a vertical line there. And I'm going to start on the side and draw a vertical line there. So now my reindeer has a neck. All right. And then the last thing, well, second to last thing is we have to give this reindeer some ears. And the ears are going to go on the side of the head because we want the antlers to go on the top of the head. So I'm just going to start on the edge over here, kind of where this line came over. And I'm just going to, again, swing out with a curved line. And then I'm going to swing back with a curved line. So there's ear number one. Then I'm going to go over here on this side. I'm going to swing out with a curved line. And then back with another curved line. And then if we want to get really fancy, what we can do is we can put another curve inside that. So now I'm drawing my same shape as I drew for the eye, but I'm drawing it inside the ear. So this is kind of the inside part of the ear. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here where I do a curve and then a curve. Okay? Then for the last part of the reindeer, we're going to do the antlers. And to do the antlers, I'm going to draw a vertical line like that. And then to make the little parts coming off the antlers, I'm going to draw some more diagonal lines. I think I said vertical, but I wanted to draw a diagonal line here. Then I'm going to draw a little or longer, short or long, or kind of a variation of diagonal lines for the antler. Okay? And then the antlers are now made up of lines, but I want to turn these lines into a shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bubble around my line. So I'm going to start on the next to the line that I just drew, but then I'm kind of going to go around, and so I'm following around those lines like this. So now it's time to go up and around and down and up and around and down, boom, just like that. And then I don't need to have these lines here anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase. Because now I've taken these antler lines and I've turned the antlers now into a shape. Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, if you want the antler on this side to be a little bit different, then we can add different side lines. You're going to make a diagonal line, and then again, maybe you only want a few vertical or diagonal lines coming off. That's okay. Maybe you want to have a bunch, and maybe you want them to be shorter, depending on where you put them. So it's totally up to you how you want to draw the antlers. And then the same thing, we're going to start on the side here, and we're going to go up and around and up and around, and I'm just bubbling around the lines that I drew. Okay, and then same thing, I'm going to erase these lines because now I've created a shape for my antlers. All right, so now that we have a reindeer drawn, I'm going to stop here to allow you a chance to kind of finish up your drawing. And then we're going to grab another sheet of white paper, and what we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm some ideas. I'm going to show you some things that you can draw to put on the reindeer's antlers. Okay? All right, guys, I'm back. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple fun tips for drawing ornaments or other fun things that you might want to have hanging from your reindeer's antlers. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice them on this extra piece of paper, and then after we practice, that'll give us an idea of maybe what we want to use when we go to draw them on our actual reindeer. So one thing I like to do to draw ornaments to make it look a little fancier is if we draw like a little rectangle like this, and then we put some zigzag lines underneath of it, that makes it look like the little, this is kind of like the little top of the ornament. And then what we're going to do is underneath that, then we can go ahead and draw our shapes. So for example, if I wanted to draw a circle shape to hang like that. And then if we really want to get professional, if we want to decorate this, instead of just drawing straight lines across, what we can do is if we make the lines a little bit curved, like the bottom curve of the ornament, it makes this ball look more 3D. Okay, so that's if we want to do circles, and we can do small ones or big ones. Let's say you want to change, you want to do a fun shape for your ornament. So there's my top, and what I can do is I can just kind of think about taking my line for a walk. So I can say, well, I'm going down, then I'm going to go out, and then back down, and then curve around. And then what I can do is then I can try to do the same thing on the other side. So I can get sort of some unique shapes like that. You can do other fun things, like you can go in and out and in and out and around. So you can kind of just play around with, you can just do some line practice and kind of figure out what type of shapes you like. Maybe you want to curve out more and then maybe have a little curve like that. So you can do, just kind of play around with some fun lines, and then you can, that you can turn into some different shapes like that. So that's ornaments. If you wanted to make like, do a theme for your reindeer. So maybe you want to do sports theme. You know, you could make like little sports balls that you want to hang. So you could do a baseball ornament. You could do all kinds of different things. I had a friend the other day who said he wanted to do a pickle ornament. So we kind of drew a shape like that, and then we made the little knobs sort of that's on a pickle like that. So you can be as creative as you want with this. If you wanted to draw, I can show you if you wanted to draw a candy cane. So we draw like that, and then I'm going to curve around like that. And then if we want our candy cane to look a little bit more 3D, if we, instead of just putting straight across stripes, if I kind of curve my lines up and around like this, then it makes the candy cane look a little bit more 3D. Another fun thing I can show you is how to make a sleigh bell. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a rainbow curved line. Then what we're going to do is right next to that rainbow, we're going to make another curved line that's going to come, but not quite as high up in there. And then I'm going to kind of loop around and come back and connect with that. And then underneath, I'm going to make a smile. And then I'm going to go whoosh, whoosh, circle, circle. And there is my sleigh bell, which is kind of fun. I could show you a bell shape if I wanted to do a bell. You can make sort of a higher arced curved line rainbow. Then you're going to do diagonal, diagonal, little bit of a curve. And then here is the part to ring the bell. And then if you want, again, we can put some curved lines for more decoration. If you wanted to put a bow on top of the bell, you can draw a square, and then you can go diagonal, diagonal, curve, diagonal, diagonal, curve. So those are some fun things, some kind of ornament ideas. The next thing I want to show you guys is to make a string of lights. And to do that, just pretend like you're taking, again, a line for a walk. We're going to draw a wavy line. And then attached to this wavy line, we're going to make sort of little strawberries, sort of, or it's like that same ice cream cone shape that we talked about for the reindeer's nose. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go kind of like that, and then like that. And the lights can go on either side of the string here. And if you want, you can put like a little knob on top like that. And if you want, you can just practice making that shape. If it's hard to make that shape, what you can do is start with our V and then add the curve on top. So that's another, or you could make the curve and then put the V underneath to get that little light shape. Or if you want, you can just kind of draw some ovals. That's okay too. Whatever works for you. All right, so take a few minutes, practice drawing your ornaments and your string with your lights on it, and then we'll grab our reindeers and we'll add some things to the reindeer. All right, guys, so we're gonna grab back our reindeer and we now have our brainstorm sheet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a couple strategies for drawing the ornaments attached to your reindeer's antlers. So one of the things we can do is we can think about whether the ornaments are gonna be hooking in front of the antler or behind. If they're hooking in front, we're just going to start on the edge of the antler and we're going to make a curve like this. So it's just going to be a little curve that's going to stop right there. And then what we're going to imagine is that the rest of the hook is behind the antler, so we can't see it. And then what you're going to do is you can draw your little rectangle or square with the zigzags on the bottom. And then you can go ahead and draw your ornament shape. So I'm going to draw one of the shapes that I talked about earlier. And then you might say, well, Mrs. Herbay, that's in front of the ear. And that's okay, because what I'm going to do is then I'm going to just take my little eraser and erase the part of the ear that now the ornament is hanging in front of. Okay, so that's if you want it to hang in front. And then again, I can do, if I want to make my ornament a little bit fancier, I can add some lines or some shapes or some other kind of lines like that. If you want the ornament to hang behind, what you're going to do is you're going to put a curve right here in front, but then we're going to imagine that it's going to curve around behind, and then the rest of the hook is going to come out like this. So it's a little curve, nothing, and then another vertical line right there. And then we would draw our rectangle, our zigzag, and then I'm just going to draw a little circle right there. And then maybe I want to jazz it up a little bit. Okay, so that's strategies for if the hook is in front or if the hook is behind. Now, another thing that we can do is I'm going to show you guys when we make the string of lights. If you would like to add a string of lights to your antlers, we're also going to talk about in front of and behind. So what you can do is I'm just going to start, and if you just want to watch, and then you can decide how you want to do yours, but I'm going to start on the edge here, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go in front of this first antler right here. Then as I go over, I'm going to go behind this next antler, so we're not going to see the string, but then it's going to come back out and go in front of the next one. So it's in front, behind, in front, and then it's going to go behind, and then it's going to go in front, and then maybe it's going to dip down, and then maybe it's going to go in front of this one again, but then it's going to go behind this one, and then maybe up in front of this one, behind this one, in front of this one, then it's going to go over, it's going to go behind this one, and in front of this one, then maybe it's going to go behind the ear and come out over here. Okay? So you can kind of decide where you want to put your string if you're going to do that. And then you can decide where you want to put the little lights. So I'm going to, and the lights can go on either side of the string, so they can go like that, like that. Oops, I don't like how I drew that one. Mrs. Herbay was trying to squeeze that guy in there. I think I'm going to have him go this way. There. Like that. you guys can decide kind of how and where you want to draw your lights. I'm going to, oh, you know what else I think I forgot to show you guys is we could put a scarf on our reindeer. So we can do a curve and a curve. And then if we want, I'm going to do kind of coming out like that. And then out like that. And then if we want, we can put some fringe. And then we can also decorate our scarf if we want to. And you can do whatever designs you would like on your scarf. That. Maybe I'm going to, over here, I'm going to draw the sleigh bell that we talked about. So I'm going to draw it on the side. So I'm going to turn my paper like this, and I'm going to draw my curve line like that. And then I'm going to draw my other curve like this, coming around. Then my smile underneath. And then whoosh, whoosh, dot, dot. So there's my sleigh bell that's kind of attached to my reindeer scarf. I can put a little hook there. And maybe I'll add another ornament right here. So I'm going to go in front and then come down. And I'm going to draw my little shape, my zigzag. And then I think I might want to make kind of like a fun little like icicle shape. Like that. And then I'll just erase those lines in the ear. Okay. So you guys go ahead and have some fun adding all kinds of things to your reindeer. I just got another idea. I was going to put the candy cane. So I'm going to just draw the first part of the candy cane right there, and then it's going to hang down behind like that. And then I'm going to draw my curved lines. So have some fun with this, and then when you're finished drawing, I'll talk about how you can finish it up, okay? All right, guys, for the final part of our reindeer, probably the most fun part is adding the color. So as you know, Mrs. Herbay really likes outlining first, and if you happen to have a black marker or a Sharpie or even a black colored pencil, that works well. And what you can do first is you can start to outline the details of your reindeer. And so Mrs. Herbay is just taking her time and kind of going over my pencil lines. All right. If you have a marker, that works well. That was my Sharpie. If you have a black colored pencil, that works fine too. And then what you'll do is, if you have markers, you can color your reindeer with markers. When I was doing this reindeer, I was using colored pencils. And the nice thing about colored pencils is you can get darker and lighter values by pressing harder or lighter with your colored pencil. And one of the fun things I was able to do, you could do this with crayon or colored pencil, is if you press dark, to press nice and hard to get a dark value for the inside part of the light, and then if you color lightly around the outside part, it kind of looks like the light is glowing. You could also use, if you wanted to, instead of that glowing. You could even also do little lines like that to make the light seem like it was glowing. So I hope you have fun with this and enjoy coloring it, and then maybe give this as a gift to someone to say Merry Christmas or Happy Winter. And so I look forward to seeing you guys in the new year.